Let's celebrate our very first episode of Crown, Memories with Dreams. Hi everyone, I'm Shruti Bekal, your Mrs. India USA 2020. Welcome to our very first episode on pageants on Mana TV International. This is a very first one of a kind. We talk to our queens, learn about their experience, their journey, how they inspire. It's all about knowing them better and hopefully inspiring other women out there who need a little nudge. So without any further ado, let's welcome our very first guest, our current reigning queen, Vaidehi Dongre. She's our Miss India USA 2021. Welcome, Vaidehi.
Namaste. Thank you so much for having me, Shruti. It's so nice to see you again.
It's so wonderful to have you here again. I mean, it's so good to see you after, the winning crowning moment. I was there and seeing, so it was wonderful to see your performance and see you shine. It was such an inspiring, wonderful event, to say the least. So how was your experience? I mean, just being there on the pageant, on that platform, winning the crown, it's such a big deal. So how did you feel, getting that crown? Did you expect to win? What was running through your mind during that time?
No, absolutely not. I did not expect to win. I had actually not even planned on participating in the Miss India Michigan pageant, but I ended up doing that for my mom. My mom was really keen to have me participate, and she's looked up to these Miss India USA pageants since Vidya Chandrasekhar won from Michigan many, many years ago, who's a dear friend of hers. So she really wanted me to do that. And then after that, naturally came Miss India USA. And I think in terms of the process, it was all, I'd done pageants when I was very, very young, like 4 or 5 years old, but this was all new as an adult. So it was amazing. I got to meet girls from all over the country who had similar, but yet different immigrant experiences from myself. And it was wonderful, just going through the entire process of selecting the outfits, how it went with my brand, my personality, selecting my talent and having it as a tribute to my mom, who was my Kathak teacher. So the winning moment was absolutely incredible. I wish my parents could have been there, but my little brother was there and it was everything and more.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I did see a picture of yours, you with the crown and sash when you were a little girl. How old were you when you did that?
I was about 4.5. We had moved to the United States just 2 or 3 months before that pageant. And my mom was worried that I wouldn't, get along or easily assimilate into United States schooling. So something to boost my confidence, she kind of took me to this pageant and said, you have to walk like this, you have to do this and try your best. And I ended up winning that day.
Awesome. Look at you. You started very young. There you go. So you did have some kind of an experience. So was that the only pageant you had done? And next was Miss India?
Yeah, I had done Little Miss Troy, I think preteen Miss Troy when I was very young. But after that, it was this was the first pageant as a full adult.
Well, I'm glad you made that decision to participate because you won, So how did your life change? I mean, when you won, next day, it was an explode of news articles everywhere, like top-notch news articles everywhere about you winning the crown. How did you feel suddenly going into this fame and you in every single article we could find out there on the internet? So how did you feel? How did it change for you since, that winning the crown?
That was absolutely a shock. I remember I had become a little sick with a cold right after the pageant. Obviously, it takes such a toll on your body. So I woke up the next day with so many calls and messages from so many of my relatives in India, my friends here saying, did you know you were in the Economic Times and Hindustan Times? And it was absolutely bizarre. But in terms of the way that my life changed, I think, obviously only for the better. I'm not used to such, people knowing anything about my life. So that was a little overwhelming, but all good and all very lovely. I think the opportunities that came my way, especially in nonprofit, which is what I'm actually really, really deeply interested in and invested in. I got to join the board of an organization that I really care about, NAAIS. So that was an opportunity that came along. And obviously, like all these wonderful designers that have reached out to collaborate and do photo shoots, that's been really, really nice as well.
That's amazing. I mean, you're still the reigning queen. You have a long way to go. I'm sure there'll be more opportunities coming your way, and you will enjoy every bit of it. So, congrats to you on that, and congrats to you for being the reigning queen. So that's awesome to hear. And yes, you did talk about being on the board. So how what are these service projects that you're doing, and how did your pageant help you through this journey of getting into service and doing things for people around you, for the community? Like, what are the things does this organization do, and how are you supporting, empowering other women around you?
Sure. So there are two organizations that I'm a part of. I'm a board member at NAAIS, which is an association for Indian American students. So we support the Indian American experience, as well as Indian students who have come here to study for their master's, PhD, etc. We have branches across the US in many different states, and we support them from everything with, visa status, visa application for Indian students, to professional and pre-professional events for Indian American students. Something that we're doing that we've got a lot of funding for is having an India tour. So we actually have a representative of ours, another board member, who will be going to India and doing little workshops across all states to teach about, what happens when you come to the US, everything from how to open a bank account to what are some organizations that you should join in your home state or your university that would make you feel more part of the Indian American community. So we do a lot of outreach in that. The other organization is Awe Foundation, which promotes equity for women. So I've done a lot of mentorship programs through them, led a lot of those programs, and heard many inspiring different women from many different tracks of life who've taken sort of different paths of their career. I think growing up, I'd known, this is all I need to do. I need to study. I need to get a university degree. I need to go on to get a job. But there's so many different paths you can take, from some of my friends who have gone into acting to some friends who have, been entrepreneurs and introduced something new into the world through their business. So I think that that's been really empowering for me to see. And I can't imagine how many more women out there need to see something like that.
That's so great to hear. You're using this platform, not just winning the crown. It's not just about beauty. It's beauty with a purpose, right? You're taking this purpose far ahead, not just winning the crown, but what else can you do for the community, for people around you? It's great to hear that you're already into these couple of organizations, making a difference. I mean, this is just the start, right? You have a long way to go, and I'm sure, you will be successful at whatever you're doing, and then inspiring and helping all these people. It's wonderful to hear that that community aspect from you. It's very rare to find that combination of winning, and most people focus on just growth on themselves, like how can they grow, whether it's their career or how this pageant can help. But it's really, really important. How do you inspire other people? How do you do something for the community around you, because it's much more than just winning a crown, and you are taking it forward. I'm so glad you are, and we're so glad that you won this year, and you're taking this crown further ahead. So proud of you. Congratulations once again on that. So you're also a business development manager. I mean, having a full-time job, doing this pageant. So what ran through your mind during that, right? Like, what was your goals? Like, how is this helping you through your current job? Or are you looking to switch? Are you looking to do something different? What is this pageant? What did you envision where this path will take you? What are your thoughts around that?
Sure. I mean, there's, the world is my oyster, as they say. But yes, I am a business development analyst at the New Zealand Trade Enterprise. So I actually work for the New Zealand government. I am an American citizen and I have a Indian birth certificate. So I truly consider myself to be a global citizen. Whether that's my love for travel or whether it's my love for connecting with people and learning from those people. I think the amount of growth and learning that I've been able to do in this past year just by meeting all different kinds of people has been massive. Moving forward, there are sort of two aspects to my life. I know I've touched a lot on the service part, but I'm also extremely incredibly creative, and that comes from my parents. My mom is a dance teacher. My dad is a musician, so I grew up around the arts my whole life. So I do have a love for Kathak, which is storytelling, and I love storytelling in all aspects. Whether it's reading, I like to write scripts that I leave sort of half finished. But I really love storytelling, so would love to pursue it on the creative side. On the business side, I've always really wanted to become an entrepreneur. So in the next 5 to 10 years, I hope to establish my own business. And because I work for the New Zealand government, I'm always surrounded by businesses there with triple, quadruple bottom lines. So if my business can not only make a profit, but have another bottom line, which is to help those around me, that would be exactly what I want to do.
That's so great to hear. You did talk about your creative side, which I'm very interested in. I'm a creative person myself. I enjoy dance, acting, and all of that. So, it's very nice to know that you're a dancer. I mean, you also won like Best Talented Award in the pageant, and you had an amazing dance with so much expression, grace going on. Wow, Vaidehi, what a performance. You were absolutely amazing. But this is a different style of dance, though. It's not Kathak, right? It's like a Marathi version of the dance. I don't know what it's called. Can you explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. I think what you're referring to is Lavani. So Lavani can come in different forms. This particular Lavani is a Gauran, which is very deep into the village roots of Maharashtra. So yeah, so I do all kinds of dance. I'm a Maharashtrian. I was born in Bombay, so I speak Marathi. I sing in Marathi. So yeah, that's very deep into my roots and close to my heart.
That's so amazing to hear. I mean, you did mention that your mom was your teacher. So you actually learned, she was your teacher throughout, like your dance performances. Wow. How was it learning from your mother?
Yeah, so my mom taught me until about a few years ago. She's unfortunately got diagnosed with the disease, so she's no longer able to really move or walk or teach or anything like that. So since then, I've started taking advanced lessons from Shambhavi Dandekar here in California, who is student and disciple of Guru Manisha Sakhe, and also daughter. So I've been learning my advanced Kathak from her. But prior to that, yes, ever since I was 3 years old, I remember my mom sort of strapping me to her body, getting on her MAT scooter and driving me to class in Thane with her. So yeah, I've been learning from a very young age, which is, I think, why I feel a sense of comfort on stage is because it's all I know.
Aren't all these moms super women? I mean, they just do so much for us, right? Thanks to them. And I hope your mom recovers soon as well. But that's awesome to hear that she was, behind you throughout your journey, learning, culture in general, right? So you grew up in India, but then you were born in India, but then you grew up here in the United States and knowing about culture, right? So you chose to learn, Indian form of dance, which is such a big step because being here in the United States, I think we have to put in that extra effort to learn about our own culture. And it's very rare to do that because there are different forms of dance and there are different cultures that you get exposed to. So keeping your own culture and going through that is very difficult and challenging. And kudos to you for doing that. And also, I think you did mention that you went back to India to actually learn history about India, which is very rare to hear that because when you grow up here, just learning language itself is a big challenge, right? You have to push kids to learn your language, to understand your culture, celebrating festivals. It's a lot for the kid to go through just being Indian and a US citizen, right? With that, you went back to India and learned a lot about history. So what was the reasoning behind it? What drove you to go back to India, learn about culture and traditions?
Sure. So it goes back to university, I think. And also kudos to my parents. Sorry, I don't want to leave them out because as a child, you can only absorb what's around you. And fortunately for me, I didn't have to go very far because the culture, the upbringing, the sort of preparation people asked me for this pageant was honestly a huge, huge part of the way that my parents brought me up. So definitely kudos to them. In terms of Indian history and politics, I got a scholarship actually in university to study Hindi and area, language, culture, and arts. So I took a lot of classes in women's studies in India. So everything from the Sati debates to Indira Gandhi was discussed in that class. And then I spent a summer, actually 3 or 4 months in Pune, Maharashtra, conducting research. So I was always interested in like the deep connection and community that I felt in India. There it's rickshaw wale bhaiya or pani puri wale bhaiya, or in Maharashtra we say rickshaw kaka. So it seems like you're really inculcated into this community, and we don't have that here. So while I was there for the few months, I studied the difference between caste and class for maids. So I would interview many maids, I think almost 80 maids and their employers, and that relationship. So that's what I studied, which was, I understand, is extremely super random, it seems like, but it led to some amazing results, and I got a paper published at the university.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great to hear that side of you as well, just putting in so much effort to learn the culture and tradition. That's great to hear. And I hope it inspires other women out there to, push themselves through their kids and their family to learn more about our culture and tradition, even though we're here in the United States. And from your creative side as well, you're a singer too. I mean, you're multi-talented, you're a dancer and you're a singer. So we do have a recording of your song and with you, and I think it's your brother, right?
Yeah.
So let's listen to that wonderful song. I wish I could have you sing live, but we'll pass on that for now, but we'll definitely listen to one of your recordings.
Saturday nights, blueberry cigarillos, swishers make my throat hurt. Rolling no CDs on the side for me, write them up and watch them both burn. Family feud, saying mom's confused, I wish he wasn't one of them. My daddy's gone, say he's never home, and wishing only makes it worse. I guess there's certain dreams that you gotta keep, cause they only know what you let them see. All the things that I know, that your parents know, they don't care like I do, nowhere like I do. All the things that I know, that your parents don't, they don't care like I do, nowhere like I do, nowhere like I do.
Wow, buddy, that's amazing. You had a great voice. I mean, I loved that performance. It's a very nice song. I enjoyed that performance, and I hope our audience enjoyed it as well. So I did see that you did win a proclamation from one of the mayors. Talk a little bit about that. How did that happen? How did winning a pageant and winning this proclamation, like, how did that go hand in hand?
So after I won the pageant, there were many, because I grew up in Troy, Michigan my whole life after I came here from India. So because of my parents, because of my schooling, I was in Troy School District Public Schools. So elementary school through high school, I'm still in touch with my first and second grade teacher. My mom volunteered at the school. So it was all a very close-knit community. And when they found out, they applied for a proclamation for me, and I didn't even know. And I got a call from the mayor's office, and it was really beautiful, to be in your home state, in your hometown, and have them recognize you was such a warm and special feeling for me after the pageant. So thanks a lot to the Mahatma uncle and Neelam auntie for putting on this pageant for so many years and empowering all of us women to really do more and be seen. So thank you to them.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's a big deal to be getting an award, getting a proclamation. That's a big deal. Congrats to you on that. And, as we're getting closer towards the end of the show, we just want to know more about pageants in general. Like, what preparation went in to, you winning Miss India USA? And what do you think made you stand out, that you won? What do you think, according to you, went really great for you? And what's the preparation you did, for the pageant?
I think there's so much, and there were so many people. Mira Baby and Rupali Baby from Michigan, who are the pageant coordinators, helped us so much from the outfits. Mira Baby is a fashion designer, so she did all of our clothes, selecting a dress, I think, that makes you feel like yourself. A lot of times what I see in pageantry is that, you try to do what everyone else is doing and you think you have to look a certain way. But I think the most confident that I've ever felt on stage is when I'm feeling comfortable, when I'm looking my personal best and wearing what I want to wear. So that was a part of it. And then I do think the things that made me stand out were my talent and my question answer. My talent, obviously, a lot of the credit goes to my mother because so many years of training had led to that moment. And then for question answer, my little brother. So he and I spent a lot of dinner table conversations. He would just shoot questions back and forth at me. We had developed a really strong rapport with that. So it was like that in our house all the time. So when it came on stage to do the question and answer, I felt really relaxed because I had prepared for that.
That's great to hear. And I know you have the upcoming worldwide pageant coming in as well. So good luck to you for that one. Any preparation? How is your preparation going for that?
Thank you. Good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
It's going, I think for preparation for me, a lot of it is like putting myself into situations that, might be slightly uncomfortable because the whole pageant experience is basically you being yourself on stage for several hours. So really making sure that I'm in a good place mentally, physically, I try to go to the gym as much as I can. I don't have any sort of diet plan, but I eat really clean, eat really healthy and green. And right now it's just that. And I'm, working on my dance, working on my question answer, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited to meet girls from across the world who have a different immigrant experience and are still connected, to their Indian roots. So really excited about it.
I am so excited for you too, and we're all going to be in this together. So let's rock it. All the best. I'm sure you will do great and come up with flying colors. Wish you all the best. Last but not the least, what would you like to tell, all these women out there who are thinking about pageant but are not quite sure if that's the way to go? What would you tell them, to take that step forward, go ahead and do it, and any tips and advice that you would want to provide?
I would say that regardless of the results, the process in itself and the experience is so enlightening and so enriching, and really builds confidence and inspires you. So I would say, even if you are in doubt, or even if you think that you can't do it, I would say take that first step, take that first risk. You know, it doesn't have to be a national pageant. It can be something small, something local. It can be simply, you know, participating in a fashion show, you know, to really be comfortable in your own skin, be comfortable in your body. Because I will say nothing builds confidence and, you know, just like good habits, like being in a pageant does. It's very disciplined, you know, it's very, you have to eat these things, you have to work out. So I would say if you're trying to build that, then there's no better place like it, and you should definitely participate.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And you are quite an inspiration to all these women out there. I mean, you're doing so much within such a short period. You've already accomplished a lot. So congrats to that. And I hope all the women out there who are watching this, they get inspired even further. And I hope we inspire more women to take that step forward and do whatever they believe in, whatever they dream to do, pursue. I hope we inspire, you know, rest of the world to do that. So thank you so much for joining us. It was wonderful having you today. It was great having you. Thank you so much. With that said, I do want to thank, you know, our Mathusaran ji and Neelam Saran ji IFC platform for creating this wonderful platform for all these women out there through this pageant journey. I mean, it's this one of the oldest and most authentic pageant out there, running over 40 years now. I think this is an example of how women step up and do things that they want to do. And, you know, it's a proof for 40 years now how women have succeeded through pageantry. I really wholeheartedly want to thank the IFC team and Himad Saranji and Neelam Saranji for that. And of course, Mana TV International, Miss Ragini ma'am, she has been, you know, instrumental in creating this platform, Crown, to talk about pageants. And this is one of the first shows here in Mana TV International, you know, hopefully inspiring many women out there to do what they want to do. Thank you so much for creating this platform. And yes, hopefully you all enjoyed. Thanks to our audience for listening in, watching us, and hopefully we inspired you a little bit more. And continue watching Mana TV, and follow us on our Facebook page, Mana TV, and also our YouTube channel, Mana TV. So see you very soon on our next episode of Crown to learn a little more about our next queen. Stay tuned. Have a good evening. Thanks, everyone.